Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. It's Engage UK back again with another review, and today we're going to be looking at the Dapol Telescopic Hood Wagons. A little bit about the history of these first. They're originally built by Link Hoffman Bush, a German company, in the late 70s, 79, 80, around about that period. And they're telescopic steel coil carriers, be used all over Europe and Britain. Now Dapol have done these so far in two liveries. The first one they've done is the VTG livery, which came out as number NB061, A, B, C and D. And then they did this Tiphook Rail livery, which came out as numbers NB066, A to D. Like the Dapol cargo wagons I looked at before, they've done both of these in 4 different running numbers, so that's why they have the suffixes A, B, C and D. They've also got in their catalogue, scheduled for some time in the next year, a second batch of the VTG liveried wagons, and they're going to be numbers NB075 A to D. So quick look at them. This is the full set of the Tiphook Rail liveried versions, A, B, C, D. Quick look at them in the box, and you can see, like the ferry wagons we looked at before, first impressions, very fine level of detail, lots of extra additional detail added on there, such as the brake wheels and cleats for tying off ropes, and the actual handles which would lock the telescopic parts of the wagon here and here. So let's take one out of the box and have a bit of a closer look at it. So I've chosen number NB066A to have a look at, and first impressions, of course, in the case, very nice. Good packaging, a hard case, which is a good point for Dapol, full marks for that, so nicely protected there, with a sleeve which you can remove. Gives you an opportunity to have a little bit of a closer look at it. One thing you'll spot quite quickly is up here, a little bag of extra bits and pieces, which we'll have an investigation of in a second. So let's take the front of the case off, and then this little bit of foam insert, remove that, and now we can have a little bit of a closer look at the detail on that, and it is excellent. Very nicely applied livery, fine printing is good. Again, you'd probably need a magnifying glass to look at some of the really small printing on there, but it's all there, and if you do happen to possess a magnifying glass, I'm sure you'd be able to read that quite clearly, down to the tiny numbers down here. Brake wheel detail, handle detail, these cleats and tie-off points, and now this bit of extra detailing here. Well, it comes, as most Engage ready to run locos and wagons, coaches do, with Rapido couplers as standard, but in this little box here, Dapol have provided us with what look like both short and long knuckle couplers. So that's going to give us the opportunity to do some close coupling with these. Obviously you could leave the Rapido if you wanted to run them as a rake at one end, both ends, so you can couple it up to other wagons that don't have these couplers, but that's a really nice touch by Dapol, so good full marks for that, because they do look a lot better, both prototypically, and you get a slightly closer coupling with them, which of course looks more realistic. So the whole wagon is encased in, it's kind of like encased in ice, and it's a similar packaging to what you get in the Farish train sets now with the wagons. So we need to slip that out of the plastic case, take it by the side here, put that aside, and there we have it. There's our little bag of detail to one side, and you can simply open the case here, and it folds out, and you can remove the wagon from it, place it aside, keep that if you want to. So let's have a little close look at it. Obviously no need for detail on the undercarriage there, but again the detailing on the bottom of this wagon is, it's not as complicated as some wagons, but it's all there and it's all very nicely done. Handles, tyre points, brake wheel, looking at the ends, very nice wire handrails there, vac pipes, wire handle again at that end, and as they're telescopic hood wagons, they do actually open and they will slide. So if you want to put one of these, say, in a siding do a loading scene, make yourself up some fake coils or something like that, you can do that. Obviously it normally wouldn't run like that, so you could close it. Looking at it overall, I mean, it is an excellently detailed model. Nice detail on the ends. So I think the next thing to do is maybe have a look at popping out these rapido couplers, putting in the knuckles, and popping it on a bit of track with the others and seeing what they look like. So let's do that. So a quick guide to changing these over, and they're very simple. They just pop straight out. You just need to hold the coupler pocket and pull, and that will come straight out, and then you can choose which length of knuckle coupler to replace it with. Obviously this will be dependent on the size of the radius of the curves you're working with, but for the purposes of this demonstration I'm just going to put them on a straight bit of track, so we'll go for the small short coupler, and that would simply push in. Just need to watch the buffers as you do it. There we go, clipped in, and there it is. So I'll do the rest of these and then I'll pop them on a bit of track and come back. Well, there are all four coupled up with the short knuckle couplers, and well, I've got to say that was quite a fiddly little job, because the coupler space here is so tight. So if you've got maybe an end-to-end layout, or you might even want to leave them almost on display as part of the layout, then perhaps these short knuckle couplers would work for you. But I think the minimum you're going to probably need is maybe one short, one long, one short, one long, etc. If you've got anything like smaller curves, probably under 18 inches, 15 inches, then probably both would have to have the longer knuckle couplers on. I'm just going to zoom the camera in and show you how tight they are. These buffers are practically touching here. The other issue, of course, is that the fine detail on the ends here, like the vacuum pipes, this is a fiddly job, and trying to couple these up, there's a potential to damage some of that as you're doing it. So again, perhaps the longer knuckle couplers would be a better idea. So I'm just going to zoom this in for you so you can have a look. Well, I think there that gives you a fairly good demonstration of how close together those two wagons are. The buffers are practically touching here. So changing to the longer knuckle couplers could well be a good idea. So a quick note on era, just so those of you who aren't familiar with the exact era for these, the VTG ones, as I say, these were originally built 79-80. VTG ones would have been 80s all the way through the 80s. There was a livery between the original VTG and the Tiphook, which was a VTG livery with Tiphook painted on it, and then these Tiphook ones would be 95, 96 onwards. So you're looking at late blue BR to sectorisation and right through into privatisation. There are apparently some still running around even with the old VTG logo, but this would be after the VTG logo. Late sectorisation through to privatisation for these ones. So to sum up, they're as good in terms of detail as the ferry wagons we looked at before. Excellent detail, excellent printing, lovely fine detail with the wire additions and the back pipes and all the brake wheel and all the added on detail. Good printing, well packaged, so a definite 9 out of 10. I think they look better with the knuckle couplers. Just looking at the end of this wagon here, just even in terms of the size of the couplers, you know, these are much less obtrusive. It looks much more like a real model than the Rapido coupler. So that's a really good addition that Dapol give you. Yes, if you can find a set, these ones are now pretty hard to get hold of. And again, like all these limited edition releases they do, I think each of these was either 250 or 500 per running number. It's always finding the last one or the last two to complete the set that's a tricky job. You could of course just buy several of one running number if you're not too concerned about having the different running numbers. But of course there's a new batch coming out soon, so well worth snagging a set if you can. Anyway, that's all from me for this review. There's going to be a few more coming up soon, I hope. Thanks for watching. Please comment, rate and subscribe in the box below, and hope to be back soon. Till then, thanks for watching. Bye.